Welcome to the Perfect Pair Show. My name is Rae-Ann, and I am with.
Faro.
Let's tell the people about who we are, how we met, how we know each other. I will start by saying we were roommates in college. We both came from different countries and started university together. And luckily, the scholarship program that we were a part of put us together as roommates.
The dean specifically said, I need all my international students together because they're gonna help each other excel. I don't know what that means. Don't take any shade, but that's what he said. Take it up.
I do think that's true though. Like you
Really?
the similarity of coming from a different place. I think that's helpful. You don't think so?
But you didn't come from Zimbabwe. You from Trinidad. So how he know, oh, they actually are both Catholic.
Yeah.
British school system. So
Yeah.
they probably
He probably didn't know that though.
did we fill that out in the
Yes,
application
because you
actually?
had to give your transcripts.
Yeah, and I refused to do it. My mom actually did my application.
Oh, you didn't want to do the application?
I wanted to go to New York to go to a New
Oh,
York school, and then I got the scholarship, and it was 2K, but the difference was going to be like 3K
yeah.
a year. And my dad was like, my
You
mom was like, no, let's try this other school that we're told about and just see if you'll get the scholarship. And she kept asking me for weeks, computer science or accounting. And I was like, I don't want to do either. I want to go to New York. And then she's like, okay, but let's just pick one. I was like, fine, accounting. I didn't even do accounting in high school. I didn't want to do it, but I did business studies. So I'm like,
right.
just pick accounting, I'll just do accounting. And then that's yeah, then that's how I ended up being like, okay, fine. I'll just go to Texas, but I wanted to go to New York. Which is interesting that I now.
And then you learn things about somebody every day. 12 years later, I'm like, okay, wow.
Yeah. No, but when I walked into, I think your mom was there, right? When I
Yeah. My mom was there. My mom and my stepdad, I believe. Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Because you guys were getting ready. I got there. Who came to get me from the airport actually? Because I flew by myself from Zimbabwe to Pennsylvania to where my uncle lived, and then I flew to Texas. But now I can't remember who came to get me because I don't think I took a cab. Why can't I remember?
One, somebody had to pick you up, like
Right?
another international or something.
Probably. I wonder if it's. Well, I don't want to put out people's
Right.
names now.
I feel it had to have somebody because he's organized for us to get rides and stuff. At least somebody to pick you up.
Well, maybe he did. I don't know.
But yeah.
Maybe he did because I know when I went to visit, I think either in 2013, I think either he picked me up to take me to the airport or something like that. But
Oh, you came to the school before?
no, after. Did I say 2013?
Yeah.
No, we were in college in 20. Weren't we in college in 2013? Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's after my bad.
I can't remember. Did I tell you also a side note? I know we're distracted from introducing ourselves. But somebody on TikTok was like, "You're a millennial? You look so young." And I was like, "Millennials aren't.
Because
Why are they saying it like that?" But
we
now
are getting older though.
they're saying
Sometimes.
if you're born in 2000, you old now. Like if you're 25,
What?
yeah, it's saying if you're 25, you old.
Whatever.
But anyway, they put us in the same
Right.
room. We just so happened to be both Catholic, so we
Yeah.
actually go to church together and
Right.
Bible study.
And Bible study.
Bible study was hilarious. And yeah, all the classes, right? We just
Yeah,
used to sync up.
we had every class together except maybe electives. Because I think you took French. You didn't take
Took
Spanish.
Spanish. I took.
You took Spanish with me?
Did you circle my paper?
Okay, that was Spanish.
Spanish.
You took Spanish, but not Spanish too, though.
I don't know, but I know
Didn't you take French, though? You took French.
I took French in high school. I don't think I took
Not
French
in
in
college.
college. Yeah, that was Spanish.
Jesus Christ, I don't remember.
Oh, man, no, yeah. Oh, but we were, yeah. I thought it was. I guess like Were there any crazy questions that you were asked when you got there? It's
Yeah,
the
I think
Caribbean, right? Yeah.
everybody was so concerned about internet and like if you know English and being so surprised that your English as well. I
From the
think,
Caribbean? What
yeah.
else would you, what other language would you expect a Caribbean person?
Oh yeah, that was the other surprising thing. People were surprised I only spoke English because I really only speak English. I don't have, there are dialects, but I don't speak another language.
I guess they're comparing with like Jamaican patois, maybe. Yeah, because I that would have been so dumb. Like if I heard that, because I used to be the person like I mean, just
I
full
remember
transparency.
I remember they used to ask you about the pets that you have and your tail.
I used to lie. Why not? Why do you think I have a
Yeah,
pet
Jeff,
giraffe?
I have a pet elephant. His name is Jeff.
Absolutely. Like I would absolutely lie because why do you think that's fake? Why?
Oh my God, that used to be so funny. You just have these people going, they're like, really? And you're like, yeah, like crossing the street is normal. Like, those are my pets, my best friends. Girl, these people would be in awe.
And it's so funny to me now because of like the whole diaspora and Americans going to like Ghana and
Right.
Nigeria. Because when we came, I can see the difference. Even people who were first generation, they would
Mm-hmm.
have nicknames. They would not even have their full name and their Instagram. They would not be wearing the traditional garb
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah, that's true, right? You
at
would be
all. They
involved.
used to be like African.
Right.
African. Why don't you speak in your say hi in your language? Like I remember that so vividly. Someone driving past us. I think we were going to from the calf to the dorm.
Mhm.
Someone drove past and they were like, "How do you say hi in your language?"
I mean, we used to get that all the time. I mean, to the extent where sometimes it'd be like, okay, okay, we got
Enough.
sense, get over it.
But
Yeah.
I still got it better than the other
Oh yeah.
um because they just thought like Zimbabwe Zamunda, they thought it was like a made up thing. They didn't believe it. But like Nigerian and stuff, they were like, did they give you clothes at the airport?
Right. Or did you learn English on your way here? How did
What?
you get here?
Yeah, how did you get here? If I learned English on the plane, y'all should be
The
scared of me.
skills.
Very
Exactly.
smart. I'm very smart.
The skills.
The one thing that I thought was funny was all the second language. We had a friend, I'm trying to like not disclose names now, but he grew up speaking French, so he was learning English before we came. And so he didn't have any like
It's the words. He wouldn't always use the right word.
but it's like it's not the right word. It's like the what's I don't know how to explain
It's
it.
a socially acceptable term. He wouldn't use socially acceptable terms.
And I'd be like, you can't say
Okay,
that.
you have to tell this story.
I think who was it? Was it I
It
don't
was
know who
a
came from.
girl and she was putting on weight, right?
And he said, cheeks, fat cheeks. And I was like, no, first of all, what?
You can't say that, you can't say it's offensive, but he wasn't meaning it in an offensive way. Like literally, that was just the best way he could have described. He was just really being honest.
He was from literally from thought to mouth. Because in America too, you wouldn't tell somebody
Right,
you gained weight. But in
right,
Africa, oh, that's the first thing.
right. That's the other thing. I do remember that. I
That's
think
the
the
first
big
thing I got. When I went back, they're like, oh, you're still the same. And I was like, I did a good job. Because I was
no,
not going to grow that
I
much.
got your cheeks looking rosy. And remember
Mhm.
that's why every time I went home, I would go through like I would be panicked and I would be dieting for like the last 2 months to make sure I'm not going home a little thick because you will not hear the end of it.
You really, that's the first thing they're going to say. Before even
You're eating
hugging
that
you,
American food. Look at you. Hello.
damn, hello.
Okay. I think the biggest thing for me, which I still love it now, is being able to return things. Remember when we went to Walmart, we shopped till we dropped, buy all this stuff,
Unbelievable.
and then they're like, oh, remember we bought the plug and it wasn't the right plug. And I don't know if it was our RA or whoever, they were like, oh, you could just return it. We were like,
Turn
return it?
it.
What? Yeah. Return
And
now I am return champion. Literally. By the way,
me
if you
too.
have
I'm so bad.
if you have Walmart Plus and you
We
do,
don't have Walmart in the United.
oh yeah, I forgot that. Well, sorry. But for other people who live in other places, if you have Walmart Plus and you do delivery,
Yeah.
if you want to return something, you could do pickup. They'll come get it from your house. I love it. It is my dream come true. I do not go to Walmart, the store anymore. I do
Well, I
not.
guess technically you can do that with like UPS and USPS, except it's not free. That I think that's the benefit with Walmart.
Well, it's not free. It's within the Plus program, so you gotta pay for that. But
Then I mean, yeah, that just sounds like a regular, except that's very convenient for groceries.
absolutely.
Do you know how
But
many times
oh, by the
I've
way, no,
actually
they don't do it for groceries, but like items. If you buy something from Walmart and it's like a grocery item and you want to return it, they'll just refund you and they'll tell you keep the item. But if it's like a cord or like a phone or a mouse, they'll come and pick it up. I love it. I don't go to Walmart anymore.
Yeah, I actually couldn't believe it because I also buy things because I don't have a car and I don't want to
Oh
get one of
yeah.
those trolleys, like absolutely not. And so I will order from Target sometimes like hand wash, not groceries,
Mhm.
but like household items. And I bought the wrong one. I was trying to get liquid soap and I got foaming soap. But I
Uh-huh.
still have the pump, so the pump doesn't work for foaming.
Hey,
So the first time I did it, I'm like, oh, let me try to return it. I'll have to go there and return it. They're like, keep the item. So the
hello.
item was
Thank
sitting
you.
out. And then remember when we used to go with our other American friends who should definitely remain unnamed, and they used to be eating chips in the store and leave the bag in a different aisle? In Zimbabwe, you break it, you buy it, open it, you pay for it. In fact, why are you opening it before you even pay for it? No, 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 no. We would
Yeah.
be in there walking, they open. I'm like, wait, you guys, we haven't paid yet. They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. Finish the bag, leave it in the. I said, wait, we didn't, girl.
I know we were so morally just like a deer in the headlights, don't know nothing.
I still don't do that though because nah, I always think my friend always says, bro, you have more to lose than like $3. Like it's really not worth it. You gonna be the example, and now you're going to jail for $3. It's like for what? Have like for a
But
bag of chips?
yeah, I do like that because that's not a custom in Trinidad either. Like you cannot return something if you don't want it, oh well. And they'll be rude to you to ask like, could I exchange? Could no, unless it's store policy and they do the credits thing, then but you don't
Yeah,
like something too bad.
there's no such thing as a store what? And also like wah, wah.
But I think us just realizing that we have the same values in a lot of things, like both of us have the same level of ambition. I think that kind of helped our friendship grow.
I think that goes without sorry, I just thought about other African friend who was crying because she didn't get a 4.0, begging the professor
Oh, for months.
for
She
months.
cried for months.
For months.
She
She didn't want to talk about it.
couldn't
You
even
say to
say it.
her, babe, it doesn't. I said, girl.
Oh my God, I remember like she couldn't even say it.
She
And now
couldn't.
you look back like
The
that
teacher
it
should have
wasn't
just
even
given it
necessary.
to her. A student come to me like that. I'm like, first of all, you way too dramatic. At this point, I'm just gonna give it to you because you clearly struggling.
Yeah, oh yeah, I forget. Yeah, she couldn't even say it. Oh,
But I think every what made me remember that is because I think everyone who leaves their home country is ambitious. Like it just goes without saying because you have to be
also
some
you
sort
under a
of
lot of pressure.
psychotic.
You're under a lot of pressure. Your parents sending you money. The least you have to do is have good grades. Hello?
Like there's no way you're coming to squander an entire and sure, we used to begin all kinds of first of all, if I could just get all those scholarships and tally up how much that was, if we had bought like Apple stock, we'd be millionaires right now. I
Cause
was going to Route 21
yeah,
to get office attire to go out.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, remember Uber had pre-made that South by in our I want to say sophomore year.
South by Southwest. Even I think there was a Bitcoin machine
Yeah,
in and Twitter also debuted South by Southwest. South by Southwest, it's so insane that we just had that
right.
in our back door and just was like Guys, okay,
Dismissing
fine.
it, right? Yeah,
Dismissing it. Like
yeah.
we could have done so much with that, but I think I still also though enjoy that we didn't do anything with it. Like everything does not need to be,
A big deal.
yeah, like sometimes just bro, just live. Just live, just
Don't
enjoy. Yeah. Sure, I would love to be a millionaire and not have to work, but it's like I also managed to enjoy because I wasn't
true.
stressing about those kinds of things. So, yeah, I think so. How did you adjust to like leaving your entire home, everything you knew? I mean, you did have your cousins. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say I had my cousin, so that wasn't a big deal. Yeah, I think having my cousin was very, very, very helpful because he had done it before me, and like I admired him, looked up to him. So I'm like, oh, if you could do it, I could do it too, type thing. So that wasn't the hard part. I think the hard part was the first Thanksgiving we did at home. I mean, at school and not go home. I have never spent another Thanksgiving by myself again. Like that was just a bad idea. I should not have done that. I think the school was just so quiet. Nobody was there. We had the
yeah, church
holidays.
is chicken.
Yeah. Like not being busy and like everybody's like, oh, family time, da, da, da," and you don't have your family, then it's like, oh, damn, you know?
And it creeped up too because or crept up because it was like 2 months after yeah, it
Right.
was November. We started in like end of August.
Right. And we didn't celebrate Thanksgiving either. So to you, it wasn't a holiday. Like, it wasn't a big deal because you didn't know what it was about. But the emptiness of the school, it being quiet, you have nothing to do, never again.
Yeah, that was brutal. And now to not to mention, I mean, the food to me, the menu is terrible.
Right.
But so you really want to go to like some sort of family that'll be like, oh no, Nigerian will do this dish or Caribbean. Because I think the meal is absolutely not. But at least that was still better than eating what church's chicken. And that was the worst thing. I think church is closed. So we had to either get the meal like the day before and then heat it up in the microwave, but like even the restaurants were closed. And that was when they really used to close. And Best Buy had Black Friday, so everything really shut down for real on that day. There was nowhere to even go, and we didn't have
Yeah.
any cars. We didn't
Yeah.
have,
I think that was the hardest holiday. I mean, up to this day, like even for COVID, when everybody had to be at home, I was like, holiday season, I'm risking it all. I'm not staying by myself.
yeah, no. I actually don't care as much now because like Thanksgiving here, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't. The problem with New York is like it's so many transplants. So it's such a very like, oh, there's so many little things going on because people probably didn't grow up here. They moved here, so none of their friends or family are here, and they're probably too broke because they came chasing their entertainer dreams. So they living on a waitress, and that's super generalizing. But so a lot of the times it's like there's so many things happening where people be like, oh, let's go to restaurants. Like restaurants are packed
During
during
the days.
Thanksgiving and New Year's.
Yeah, yeah, man. Good old days.
What I did think was weird though was the food for sure. I mean, all things aside, I think America is a complete opposite to the rest of the world as I saw it. I Zimbabwe is like a British colony, so we even did British exams. So it's when we went to London, it felt so easy to exist there because I even knew the snacks.
Yeah, you did.
Everything
I
was just
forgot that.
so, yeah, I was in the store like, oh my gosh,
Right. You hadn't had these in forever. Yeah.
it was so easy. And everything is in like mils instead of ounces, kgs instead of, those things are such small things, but they're so hard to adjust to when you're used to even Celsius, Fahrenheit. There's too many little things to adjust to. So in that first year, I would say I think it was easy to acclimate because for me it was still like, oh, this is exciting. This is just an adventure. Let me just go see America, see what they're doing out there. And it didn't click to me. But I always say if I was this old now and I had to move, I probably wouldn't. Like
To
it's
the
actually,
US.
yeah, it's actually such an adjustment that not that I don't think it's worth it, but it's too much of an adjustment. And I think it was covered by the fact that I thought it was an adventure because I was 19 years old. I was like, oh my gosh, everything's so fun. If I was way older, now you have to think about, oh no, actual nieces are gonna grow up and you're away. You can't just see them at any time. Those little moments, your parents getting older, you're not seeing. My grandma's like 92. It's like like every little thing. If I had to do it older, nah,
I mean, that's
that's
like,
too far.
yeah, that's why when people ask me if I'll move back home, that does be my hesitation. Like, man, do I want to start over in a big way like that again?
For me, it's not even that, although that is a big consideration. It's like I already sacrificed so much coming here. We might as well cash
It's
out.
gonna work. It's gonna work.
Like
Right.
Denzel
Right.
says, I'm leaving here with something. I'm
Okay.
not, we already here. So even some of my cousins were like, oh, you should come, just stay here. Because there's some American company, I think, and they have a customer service unit in Zimbabwe. So they work American hours. And I was like, do that. Like, it's like 4 p.m. to like midnight. No, for what? Like, it's not even, and also now I'm so Americanized. The luxuries,
Yes.
oh
You
my
ain't
God.
waiting in no bank line. Yeah.
They
I
were
can't go back
swiping
to
my
that.
card and they said, pin. I said, oh, there's no pin. And so it would automatically, like before they even say I can respond, it automatically says approved because it's a credit card.
Right.
And they're like, what is this? And it was one of my Capital One Venture X. So it feels like a platinum cards was a little bit heavy. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
This card
Look
has
at
a
you,
little bit of,
Patsy.
I said,
But do
don't.
you think that just seeing your family makes you miss them? I feel like leave. So, my mom and my sister just left. And now that they left, I miss them more than I did when I hadn't seen them in a long time.
Oh yeah, that's why I always used to say I don't want to go because then I'm
Yeah,
not gonna want to leave. And listen, it is too much. During the day, I'll send my sister pictures of her own children. She can see them. And then she's like, oh, you took lots of pictures. I'm like, immediately when I got there, I was taking pictures and she was like, oh, these people who live in America pictures. And I was like, when I leave, that's all I'm gonna have is pictures and videos. So I'll be looking at the little babies. I'm like, oh, but
yeah,
yeah, I'm like, I can't do it. Even when I got there, they were all my sister cried because
of
it was a
course.
surprise, whatever. And then when I was leaving, I was crying. Last time I didn't even let them see me crying because I just went into the gate and then I was like, no, I should just go back. I should just
Yeah, it's
I was
hard.
like, I don't even need my stuff. I'll just
Yeah, yeah. I think that's when it's the hardest. When you haven't seen them for a while, you're living your life, so you're not thinking about it. But they come or you go. I don't know why this time was particularly harder than before, like of all the times, because I've been back home,
yeah.
but I don't know. Like, yeah, like damn.
Maybe it's because y'all were doing important things too.
Yeah, also, I feel like part of it is because, and I was explaining this to my friend, like my memory of my mom and my sister in person is me as a child, right? That's the memory I had. So now that they came and I got to know them as an adult, so I'm knowing them on a deeper level, I'm like, man, my mom is actually really cool. I like all this because I thought she was gonna be very picky and criticizing, and she
Twisted.
wasn't. And I was like, oh my God, I am actually having a really good time. Like we genuinely laughing. We had such a good time, and I'm missing them even more. I don't know. I think it's a maturity thing.
I think so. Because even when I went, it was just me, my mom, and then my grandma. She moved into the house because she's too old now to live by herself. And so at night, I would be like to my mom, "Yeah, I need to stay up until midnight." So she would make it a point to stay up until midnight because I'd be like, actually, I didn't even ask her to stay up. She did it like the first few days, and I just ended up realizing like, oh, she's waiting until it's time for us to all go to sleep. One time she went to bed at 11. I went to bed at 11. I said,
Yeah.
you went to bed. I'm going to bed too. How do you think I'm going to stay awake if all the lights are switched off? I'm going to sleep. Like, but she was so chill. People kept going like, oh, so how does it feel? And I was like, it actually didn't feel like anything. I don't know how to explain it because it feels as though I maybe wasn't present enough or I took it for granted, but it was so chilled. It was just like being here.
You will be
And
in
that
a
was actually kind of, yeah, it's really
you
it's all
are
real. But it's like, it's so weird because I did think I would like have to do a little bit more stuff, or like I would spill stuff and be like, oh, where's the broom? And she'd be like, oh,
okay, yeah.
it'll get taken care of. And I'd be like, oh, I'd need to go. I would think of like, oh my gosh, I want pizza. Let's go to Pizza Inn because I'm like nostalgic. And my mom would be like, oh, okay, I'll take you there. And I'm like, really?
What? No hesitation.
It's like 15 minutes, and there was a heat wave in Zimbabwe for some reason, so it was hot. And our grandma is there, so she can't just like go. She has her walker, but it's like too much. To be like, no, it's fine. We'll leave the grandma here with we have help, and then we'll just go and come back. And I was like, this because I'm a guest. What is happening here?
Right. I think that's it. I think the more time you spend away from your family when you go back, they're like, oh, this is a precious time because you're not here. Let's like spend it together. So yeah,
So chilled. It
it,
was
it
so chilled.
I think it gets better as you get older. But it's still like the relationship gets better as you get older, with your parents at least.
Yeah, I think I definitely, probably, obviously, the least close to everyone because they see each other more often.
Right.
But I think, yeah, I don't know. I think going back as an adult was definitely weird because I just was used to being a child. So even seeing my siblings with children, even though my sister had a child when I left, or like families being married, it was just, and they're my in-laws, like my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law, they're so chilled. It just was like, I almost was like, damn, why did I go to America? This is too comfortable. And it's to the point where I was telling one of my friends, I actually don't even think I would date if I lived back home because I have such a community that I'm like so relaxed. I don't even think it would be a desire.
But it would have happened anyway. It would have just happened. I
Yeah,
feel like it would have
it's
just happened. It's
here.
easy.
It's like too much pressure because it's like you're by yourself. But there, it probably, like you're saying, would have been way more just.
A part of life. It just happened naturally. You didn't have to look for it because yeah. It just would have been natural. It would have been natural. The pressure would not have been there.
At
Yeah.
all. Like,
Yeah.
so now being back is was definitely weird because I
Yeah.
was like, oh, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, like, it's not necessarily that I want to go back there. I think there's a
Right.
middle ground that I haven't found. But here, for sure, I'm like, I'm thinking about stocks. Who cares? Like, no disrespect. I get it. We have to and we will. Blah de blah. Gonna get a new job. Want more money. Promotion raise. Blah blah blah. But it's like, oh my gosh, life is not being lived enough here for sure. For sure, or at least let me speak for myself. I promise you, if I was at home, I don't even know. I would be. My sister, you come drop off the kids. She'd be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna come leave them for the day." He has a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and then my brother has a 18-month-old to 1.5. First of all, that is a full-time job. I have so much respect for single moms. I have no clue how you guys do
Yeah.
it. It's
In all
actually
seriousness, that is a very hard job.
it's actually insane. There'd be times when my sister came for a sleepover at my mom's house because we were gonna do like a barbecue the next day. And she had to like bathe the babies before people came. And I found her just like taking a nap at like 9 a.m. in the morning. And I said, Shane, sweetie, let me go I'll find my other older niece. We'll go bathe these. She just looked tired. And I'm like, this not even a single mom. She's not. She has my mom. She had me at the time, my older niece. She has a husband, but she has a help as well. But she was so exhausted. And those children just never get tired. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, this is insane. So I just have so much respect. It's actually so bizarre that it just felt like such a community. I was like, this is missing. I need to go and prioritize that in 2025 because that is insane how comfortable it was and how uncomfortable I didn't realize I was in the States. It's so bizarre.
I mean, it makes sense. That's why, the friends that I have who are Indian, who moved their grandparents, their mom, they all living in this house. It makes complete sense.
Or the same apartment or a complex so that they could just go, oh, down the street. I just actually can't believe that, like, if I had kids here, I cannot just go drop them off. And like, that's insane. I have to take them to daycare, which is not a bad thing. It's just like,
It's different. A community is completely different. And unless you've experienced it, you wouldn't know what you're missing.
mm-mm, you really don't. The other thing that I did think was weird is I mentioned the food, but like breakfast food in America. Actually, a lot of things in America, as far as like even how Thanksgiving is plated. Like, why is the food touching? Like, they would want to put in the cafeteria, they want to put the dessert on the main plate. I'm like,
Actually, for Thanksgiving food, I thought a lot of it was dessert, like so much of it sweet. But
yeah,
that's
there's
part of the main meal. That
the
I
candy
remember
jam.
us, I think I remember, at least for me, the sizes. Remember, we were like, "Oh, could I get a small?" And they're like, "This is a small." And you like, "This is a small." Like the sizes are different. Like the fast food, what McDonald's has as a
Oh yeah,
small, medium, and large at home is not the same small, medium, and large here.
the
And sweet,
small is probably medium. Oh, the sweetness is
it's
really
on
good.
12. Like even now, I eat things and I'm like, "Oh, this is so sweet," and they're like, "What? This is not sweet at all." I'm like, "Oh, these cookies are too sweet."
There's a place, a dessert shop here, and I like dessert, but then
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain it, but when I went to France, they had like pastries and stuff. They'll have like a custard, a vanilla custard. I like those kinds of desserts where like it's just flavor.
Mhm,
Here, there's a place called Milk Bar,
mhm.
dessert place. It's so good. It's so sweet. There are certain things where I'm like, I cannot even have
The
more
whole
than a little, and the little piece too much. I'm like, if you just used way less sugar, this would actually be really delicious. It's
Yes,
too much. And
yes.
there's so much of that. Even the soda, I don't think I really had soda in America, not because I was trying to be healthy, but I thought it was
Maybe
too
too sweet.
and too fizzy. It was just, yeah, I think that, and also like putting syrup on hash browns. To me, those were
Yeah.
potatoes.
Also, in terms of breakfast food, in Trinidad, if you have leftovers, you eat that for breakfast. People thought it was so weird for you to eat like if it had rice or something, you eat that the next day. You just wake up and eat whatever was leftovers. They're like, no, breakfast is only eggs, only sausage, only pancakes, only you're eating food.
It's food. So it was so regimented of like, you're gonna eat this for breakfast. I'm like, I'm
Yes,
gonna
and it's
eat because
like I
it's
just
food.
eating.
Yeah. Wait. But I liked the innocence of like the questions,
Oh yeah.
especially with some of our like same academic class, the boys students. Like those questions were so genuine. I think it's as genuine, even though it's a sticky subject, as like when our other friend who's gay or she's lesbian. The questions we had for her, I thought that were very like that was a
Man.
very
Yes, and we've talked about this before, just always being so appreciative of her just being very open and understanding to answer questions.
yeah. If
I mean,
anyone
she
has
was the
seen the
first gay
video,
person I met in person. Like I
me too.
probably had heard like, oh, this person is gay, but it probably was neither confirmed nor denied, but it was still like something nobody ever discussed.
Yeah.
And her just being existing and
But
yeah.
also like being so willing to explain
Oh
so
yeah.
easily
Yeah.
was just like,
Actually very much so appreciated that because I know I came with stereotypical expectations of gay people from a religious perspective that is not even true.
yeah.
And getting to know her, I'm like, oh, they're human. Why did I not act like that?
And it's so bizarre to make it bizarre because it's actually not intrusive into your life. Like I
Wait,
don't
what do you mean?
the way people make it a big deal is what's so weird to me. That's what's so bizarre because knowing our friend, there's nothing that she did that made me feel uncomfortable. Like nothing
Oh yeah.
encroached onto my life or into my life that I was
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
need you to not be like. So it was so weird now to see people so against it, or even the way people here even go out of their way to be racist.
Yeah.
Honestly, the pettiness needs to be, it needs to be clapped for because that is too far. People here will inconvenience themselves to be racist. That's crazy to me. It's so crazy. And so it's like all of those like cultural I'm telling you this because like I really had a conversation with one of my friends not too long ago, maybe a year or two, and I was like, yeah, I definitely wouldn't have moved here this late in life because I've seen so much now that I'm like the culture shock did not click because I was just like, ah, whatever. And I'm also one of those people too who I will blatantly play ignorant to not address your shade. I do that at work all the time. I will do that in person. I don't have time. I'm like, I'm actually gonna pretend like you didn't say that because I don't have time to be addressing that. So it's so crazy to notice the amount of things that people go out of their way to make you feel uncomfortable or not pay you enough at work or not this. It's too it's too much. And so I have so much empathy for Americans because the way I judged them, and I probably didn't even really judge them as much growing up, otherwise I wouldn't have come here. But the way people I see, like some of my friends judging them from home,
Yeah.
I
The
totally
perception.
get their perspective.
Yeah.
But then
Exactly.
I'm like, y'all really don't
They
understand.
don't
Like,
understand.
I get why you would think that, but
Yeah.
you need to be here to actually feel it. It's something that you can't even explain. Some like microaggressions are so difficult to explain because it
Mm-hmm.
just sounds like you're making it up and it's all in your head.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It
not
does.
tangible.
Like when you literally explain the situation, it sounds
It
crazy.
sounds crazy. It sounds like
And
you're just being
and
so.
then there like somebody who doesn't have that perspective will be like, there's no way the way you think that person is thinking is how they're thinking. And you're 100% right. Like, no, they are.
They
They
are.
like the underlying inherent belief that like black people are less than, it's 100% true. I mean, even us, I remember when we would be like, man, this discussion about racism, why we having it all the
Like every time black
time,
friends
every
meet black.
time, every program, and it's like, okay, seriously? And then you go out there and you're like, they are serious. This is real.
This
Like
is why.
somebody like driving while black, all those things. You're like, no, nobody will just stop you because you're black. Oh yes, they will. Nobody will
Or
assume you're the help because you're black in a store. Oh yes, they will. Like, yep, yeah,
it's so crazy. And the fact that it's not tangible
yeah,
is like almost like a constant gaslight. Like you're just constantly being manipulated and gaslit into thinking you've gone crazy, you're making this up.
yeah, yeah,
So I have so much empathy. It's yeah, it's so bizarre, man.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm so surprised even when people get paid less. Because that's like it's not even your money. So
I
what
mean,
is
listen,
it?
so I'm reading the book, what's her name? Indra. Damn it, I don't remember her last name. She was the CEO of PepsiCo, a female, a woman from India, and she like came here as an adult, right?
Okay.
And she had made it to say VP or something. Everybody else was making substantially more than she was. Everybody was flying on the jet to go all the all their different locations all over the world, and she was still doing commercial. And she was like, it was so frustrating to fly commercial because if you go in from the US to the UK and it's a 11-hour flight, you can't work because you're around other people and this is private information. She's like, on the private company jet you could work, and she just was like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever, but nobody offered her those benefits and she didn't know. And then, but the thing is, the thing that I like about that book is she blames. I don't want to speak to her, but speak for her. But the way I interpreted what she was saying is like she thinks HR has a problem. Like she thinks HR leaders do prioritize men, do prioritize white males, because when she brings up like, why is this girl who's the same level as these men not getting paid, they would make her feel uncomfortable for bringing that up in meetings. And then they would dismiss it and be like, oh, it's just 5% less. It's only a little bit. And she'll be like, oh well, pay girl 105% and then pay them at 100. And she say everybody will get quiet. She was like, if it's only 5%, then give her
Do it
more
the other
money.
way around.
Yes, I wouldn't do it. And she said it doesn't matter if it's a male or a female leader leader in HR, they still give more priority to men.
Oh, so she's saying the problem is in HR.
She seems because she said they have that underlying belief that men just more available, so they could work harder, so we should pay them more.
It's, and I don't even want to get into the Black
I
woman
know, I know, I know, I know.
conversation because that will just, even what it actually made me uncomfortable to see Kamala was swearing someone in and the husband was there. And I don't know which congresswoman it was. And she was sworn in. So she says, congratulations, tries to shake the husband's hand, and he like I don't want to shake your hand. And she just was like, and then like took the picture. Now the wife did like looked a little bit embarrassed that like my husband just did that, because it also stole the wife's moment, because now it's just going viral that like, oh, this person refused to shake Kamala's hand. I just didn't. I hated that Kamala had to fawn, fight, flight, fawn, freeze. She had to fawn in that moment and just be like,
Let
keep
me
it
just let this
professional.
pass.
I'm gonna pretend like it wasn't a big deal. And I was like, oh my God, you know how many times that Black people have to do that at work? I really wanted her to just freaking slap him. Slap him. Flip the table, slap him, because enough is enough.
Mhm.
It just made me so angry. But it's so crazy that people aren't even, you're not losing out by paying me more, but you would still push that or put that cause. Sure, you're not going to get paid less if I get paid more. Why won't you just pay me more? So there's so much to me, and I mean the next 4 years GG's, but it's just there's so much to it.
Yeah.
Again, having to be like, yeah, this is where I'm gonna live, rather than no, Zimbabwe has its own issues.
All right.
You just pick your poison.
You pick
It's
your
too
point.
late now. We already been here. It's what, 13 years this year.
13 years, yeah. But
Again,
that's our journey.
that is our
Over
journey,
the last few
and
years.
you'll probably hear more about how we have moved through the states throughout the 13 years that we've been here. We are starting this because we love to read books. I would say Rae-Ann reads more than me for sure, but sometimes we pick up a book. We're both in accounting and finance,
Yeah.
but we like mental health, so
We
we
do
tend
like
to
mental health.
a
We
lot,
do read a lot about relationships too.
a
And
lot.
the thing is, we have such good conversations about these books. Like this is just gonna be a recorded version of it. Like the life lessons be like blowing our mind. We literally like, oh my God, I'm about to change my life because I just found this wisdom.
Yeah,
And now we're just gonna share it.
we're just gonna share it. We want you guys to share it as well with us. We
Yeah.
obviously aren't. I wish I was an expert at this. My life would be so much easier. But still learning everything. And obviously, we are still nosy, so there will be a reacts
Yeah.
version of the content where we might just be reacting to things going on.
Right.
So, yeah, that's, I guess, the intro. We will start with the first book, go from there. If you do have book recommendations, I guess, put them in
Yeah,
the.
we will do we will definitely do book recommendations. Also, like the thing I like about social media is when one person experiencing a problem and you ask a question and all these people comment on it and you try the different things and you're like, oh my God, the lifesaver, the person who commented this one thing, it changed my, I love that.
I
So
love.
like if we talking about an issue and you already know the solution or you already overcame it by doing some weird random strategy, tell us. Like that's how
Help
people
me,
I
help
love.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm excited. We will definitely be putting out an episode as consistently as possible.
Okay, I like that.
as possible. So you guys hold us to the fire, I guess. You don't see anything. But yeah, this is episode 1. We'll come back here at episode 200 and revisit this entire set and be like, oh my gosh.
We
Do you
have
remember
grown
our
so
first
much.
episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, so until then, I guess I don't know, what should they comment below in the let's just get to know who's in the chat. Maybe where their favorite no, not their favorite Thanksgiving food. Maybe their favorite Thanksgiving. No,
Yeah.
the Thanksgiving food that they would scrap. If they had to redo the
Oh,
menu, take
yeah.
out one thing, what would you take out?
Yeah, that's true. People love Thanksgiving food.
Yeah, but you gotta like something less because them turkey be dry as hell. But okay, until next time.
Bye.
Bye.